gentlemen, happy Thursday. Yesterday, I showcased you guys my evil hero deck, but today, I'm here to showcase you guys the newest deck that's coming out of Supreme Darkness, TCG exclusive, by the way. That means OCG doesn't have this. Today, I'm showcasing you guys the brand new MITSURUGI ritual deck that's coming out of Supreme Darkness. This deck is... Yo, Steve, why are you here?
Now you're MITSURUGI!
How about this? Can we have a deal?
Yes.
Can I just show my deck profile and then you show yours after, or how does that work?
That's a great deal. How about no?
All right. So do I just throw this in the garbage or no? Like, what should I do with this?
I mean, it's almost a YCS winning deck. You just play it how I want to play it. YCS champion will show you full deck profile and combo tutorial at the end of the video. How one snake rain could lead to unbreakable board, and any two reptiles in the whole deck leads to the full unbreakable board. And for those that really love MITSURUGI, I'm actually launching a full spreadsheet and masterclass on this deck tomorrow. The link will be in the top of the description below. Make sure to check that out. It's gonna be 6 hours live of a training hyperbolic time chamber. So join and ask all your questions there. Anyways, without further ado, let's get started on the greatest MITSURUGI deck profile and combo tutorial you'll ever see. Let's go.
Yo. Yo. Yo.
This is $15. No cap, no gimmicks, to spend on whatever you guys want on Whatnot. Ladies and gents, here, take it. Take it! Ladies and gents, Whatnot is giving you guys $15 for anyone that signs up using my link in the description box below. Whatnot is an amazing live streaming platform where you guys can buy, sell, auction, literally anything. You know, but a lot of people like myself and also, you know, Ruxin, you know, we're on Whatnot because we love Yu-Gi-Oh! And if you guys sign up using my link, you guys will get $15 added to your account for absolutely free. And ladies and gents, on January 24th, I'm doing the biggest Supreme Darkness live auction, you know, where I'm gonna be breaking the brand new set Supreme Darkness alongside other crazy sets like Rarity Collection 2 and, you know, Quarter Century Bonanza as well. So what I want you guys to do is download Whatnot using the top of my link down below, get $15 added to your account. Go on my account, Team Samurai X1, and bookmark my show. Very important, bookmark my show so you guys get notified on when I go live. And guess what? Not only will you guys be getting $15, but anybody that signs up using my link and purchases anything from my store when it becomes live, I'll be giving you guys a free booster pack of Supreme Darkness. So guys, what are you waiting for? Come hang out with me on Whatnot on January 24th at 6 p.m. EST for the Supreme Darkness live box break. And don't forget, this $15 is waiting for you. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. Back to the video.
First things first, I want to show what I believe is the best card in the deck, and that is Ogdoadic Daybreak. I'm not starting with the MITSURUGI, so I'm going to tell you why. This card right here makes the whole deck. This card's better than Snake Rain. What this card does is says tribute one reptile monster. By the way, that makes all the rituals trigger their effects. They all trigger when they're tributed. For every 2 levels a tributing monster has in the field, special summon up to 1 Ogdoadic token, level 2. That means you're specialing 4 tokens from 1 card. And the second effect, you Foolish Burial any reptile from your deck. So this card specials 4 tokens, triggers the actual MITSURUGI effect, and it Foolish is a card. Did you hear what I just said? This card's this Snake Rain. Now you guys are gonna realize a common pattern in this deck. This card sends 4 reptiles to the graveyard. This card specials 4 tokens and Foolish Burial is a card and triggers the Ogdoadics. Typically, when you're playing 6 spell cards that say send 4 cards from your deck to the grave or special 4 monsters, it's probably a good deck. Like, it's probably a good deck. And when you're playing 6 cards like that with Thrust against Snake Rain, so you're playing like 9, yeah, you're playing a crazy deck, especially when this card is searchable by the whole deck. I wanted to start this video with these 6. This deck capitalizes on these 6 and how searchable they are. The fact Thrust searches Snake Rain for that, and the fact that Daybreak is searchable by the entire deck. Anytime you make King of the Feral Imps, you could search this as well. So that's what the whole deck is based around. And now I'm gonna get into the actual combos and, well, not the combo, the actual deck list and like the cards to get these. But these 6 are the power cards of the deck, and the reason why this deck is legitimately tier 1. Legitimately. Next, we play 3 Noya. Noya is the best one because Noya, when it's normal summon, it searches the Ogdoadic Daybreak. And since it's an Ogdoadic and a reptile, at level 4, you get it anytime. The other effect is you could send it to the graveyard from your hand to send a light reptile from your deck to the grave. So that the light reptile will then be able to trigger, you'll be able to send the other Ogdoadics. So the point of this is you're going to spam your graveyard with a bunch of level reptiles, hit themselves on board because they special themselves from grave, and get the Feral Imps, get to eating your opponent's hand traps until you could resolve your Daybreak, summon 4 times, and do the combo at the end, which I'll show you. Next, we also play 3 Nunu. Nunu is another one of the starters where you could send it to the from hand to grave to send a dark reptile from deck to the grave instead of light. Typically, Noya will send either Nunu or Curse, and this would send another dark or that, depending on what you have. And then this special itself from the graveyard. So this is an extender, and the whole point of the deck is you want to set this up immediately, where this will be able to get you Daybreak or Water Lily. This will be able to special itself, and you have your rank 4, 1 King of the Feral Imps that resolves this full combo. So the idea of the deck is you want to summon your King of the Feral Imps, let your opponent stop it, and you just summon another one, and you just keep playing, and you just link into, you keep going, and the end turn ends on an unbreakable board with draw 3 with an unbreakable board with multiple Regekis, discards, and multiple negates with a floodgate. It's ridiculous. That's why we want to max out on all the consistency. Also playing 3 Saji. Now, for those who don't know what Saji is, this is a new card. Mitsurugi Saji, when it's normal or specialed, you can add normal, special, or tributed, add a Mitsurugi spell or trap from your deck, which will add the best cards of the deck. And it's a reptile, search ball, Feral Imps, and if you notice a common theme of the deck, they're all level 4, and they all make King of the Feral Imps, and they all synergize so beautifully together. Next, we play just 1 of each ritual. The reason why is they're all so searchable. The deck makes King of the Feral Imps like it's its day job and its night job. Clark Kent and Superman up in this deck. You can do it all. So you only need 1 of each. You don't want to clog your hand with other stuff when you know that you just want these to kind of hit themselves on board to play around your opponent's hand traps the most. Like what? Your opponent's going to Ash Snake Rain? Sure, dude. Then any of these 2 reptiles with the full combo, etc. And you just want to resolve your Daybreak. 1 of each is all you need. Futsu. This card, whenever it's summoned on the field, whenever your opponent special summons a monster, you could special a reptile from your graveyard. Sounds pretty broken, right? Because then you get the special one of your reptiles and get follow-up. This is where this card's utterly absurdly powerful. Futsu is not once per turn. So when you have your full setup by then, when you're going to have a bunch of Ogdoadics up with links and all that, you could summon all 4 of these from your graveyard from 1 card. Do you notice a common theme in this deck where this card says send 4, this card says special 4, this card says special 4? It's a common theme of the deck of every card being broken. It's a common theme. Additionally, when this card gets tributed, so there's absurd synergies with Daybreak. This, when it's tributed, this is what both rituals do. When it's tributed, you can add any Mitsurugi from your deck to your hand and then special summon it. Like, it couldn't get any more broken. And as broken as this card sounds, because there's a lock that we do in this deck where its effect is very relevant. What have I told you? Even though this card special summons 5 times from your graveyard and it's not once per turn and adds and specials, it's still not the best card in the deck. This is the definition of a custom card. Someone from Konami one day just decided, I'm going to create the greatest ritual ever created, and this is what came to mind. Imagine Goku ate Shenron, and after he ate Shenron, he made a wish saying, I want to become a Yu-Gi-Oh card. That's what they came into. Goku and Shenron. What this card does, when this card is ritual summoned, Regeki your opponent's board. Wait a sec. But what if they have impermanence? Imperm. Effect number 2. Anytime your opponent activates a card, your opponent must discard 1 card or negate it. Now this is where it gets absurd. If that wasn't enough, Regeki on summon, discard or negate. That discard or negate happens every single turn. So when this card hits the board on turn 0, the duel's over immediately because your opponent cannot hand trap anything. The second your opponent hand traps a King of the Feral Imps when this is on board, they have to lose 2 cards for 1. So when they veil their King of the Feral Imps, they have to discard a card from their hand, putting them at 4 cards. All right, sure. Let's say you do some more combos. All right, their turn now. It does the same thing. The second they start their turn with Bonfire, let's say to get an Ice Rizio, all right, discard 1. You start your turn with 3 cards. This card hand loops everything. And now it gets even better. The Regeki's not just on your turn. Because of the way the deck works and how the card design, which is incredibly well built. Good job, Konami. Love you guys. This card Regeki's on the opponent's turn too. So it Regeki's on each turn. and then it discards on each turn. And then if your opponent has 0 cards in hand, which will happen a lot with this card, trust me, I know, I've dueled hundreds of matches with this deck already. I know, I don't have a life. It negates because there's no card in hand. So if they can't discard something, it negates. And just like the other broken ritual, anytime it gets tributed, which is kind of the whole gimmick of Ogdodix and the whole deck, and Prayers and Mitsurugi, this whole gimmick of the deck, everything tributes, it gets sent to the grave, respecials itself, triggers the Regeki, adds a card from a deck to hand, and continues the never-ending loop of discard Regeki, turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, turn 5. And that's what this deck was missing in conjunction with these absurdly powerful cards. Because as crazy as Send 4 and Special 4 are, they were missing these absurdly powerful monsters to seal the game. And this officially puts Reptiles at tier 1. And I'm taking this deck to YCS Orlando to win myself trophy number 2. Branded Fusion was so good, we had to make Branded Fusion 2, aka Mitsurugi Ritual. This card allows you to ritual from your hand or deck by using the opposite of as materials, aka if you want to summon it, like you go Feral Imps, you could ritual summon this by sending 2 materials from your deck. So what you typically do, depending on what you have, you could send a Saji. Now I'm gonna get to the combos later. If you have these 2 in your hand, you go Mitsurugi Ritual, special this, send Saji, send Kusanagi, Channeling 1, 2, 3, Regeki. This adds from graveyard to hand. This adds another spell from deck, and you just keep going forever. And they all tribute each other, and they go never-ending loop. Then you ritual this, you bring up food, so it's never-ending. And it's absurdly powerful. You can ritual once from your hand, once from your deck, by using the other's material. So it's like very similar to Branded Fusion. The other Mitsurugi card is Kusanagi. It's like Saji, except it only adds from grave. Saji adds a speller trap from deck. Kusanagi adds anything from grave or banished, which is good because that's how you recycle the trap card of Mitsurugi, which is basically Solemn Judgment, but not a counter trap. Well, it's not Solemn Judgment because it's better. It's even better. I'm going to explain what the Mitsurugi trap does. What the Mitsurugi trap does now, it's not a counter trap. However, when your opponent activates a card or effect, tribute a level 5 or higher reptile, typically in normal versions of Mitsurugi, like with Ryzeal or other versions, it's you're tributing only these. In this deck, you could tribute these or the Ogdodix. Pretty good. And when this is in grave, the grave effect is actually very, very good. Where the grave effect is you're able to banish it, special any reptile from your graveyard, and then tribute a monster you control. That's broken. The reason being, as you guys know, you'll be able to special any. You could special your Water Lily on the follow-up after you stop your opponent with your 9 negates. You could special your Noya. You can add a Daybreak. The effect will trigger to tribute like your Ame. The Ame will come back to add a Prayers, Regeki, discard. Like it's never-ending follow-up. The goal of this deck is to half play. If you could half play in Ritual once and do some Ogdodix stuff, even through 5 hand traps, your opponent immediately loses the game the second you ritual spell. That's what's crazy. Lastly, Mitsurugi Prayers, which is an absurdly powerful card. You're able to, similar to the Rika cards, at the activation of this card, you have a choice. If you like to tribute a reptile, tribute, trigger all your cards. And then you, by the way, please do not play Massive Restrict against this deck. I will cry. I hope that it doesn't come to that point. But after I, and as well as you guys, win multiple events with this, maybe it will. But they could screw off because then we're going to figure out another way to win. Anywho, this has 2 effects in one. Imagine Sangen Kaiman, except like Steve Irvin was singing to it. So it's even better. Sangen Kaiman adds and then specials. This does the same, except this could special from deck or grave. Sorry, from hand or grave. And this specials the rituals. So the second you ritual summon once and is properly ritualed, the Prayers will then add a follow-up and special this, meaning that this Regeki, this is why I said this Regeki comes every single turn. Every turn, turn 0, turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, the discard, the Regeki, everything. This card's absurd, and it triggers the card because it's tributed, and it adds absurd, better than Sangen Kaiman. As you see so far, all this deck is so far, all these cards are, they're all custom. They're all custom. They're all custom cards. They're all absurdly powerful cards. Reptile, the Reptile ages today. Next, we're gonna show you guys some 1-ups now. Ogdodic Water Lily is a 1-up. It's a Foolish Burial. It's not a brick. Obviously, it's good to Foolish Burial, a deck that loves, Foolish Burials. But the second part of the effect, which is big, You sometimes save this. If there's 5 reptiles, you special summon a monster from grave. This is vital when your Saji gets stopped. There's a lot of lines where you're able to basically ritual spell when Saji stopped thanks to Water Lily. I'll get to that in the masterclass, which you guys should sign up for, as well as the comment tutorial at the end when you see. Now I'm going to show, oh yeah, 3 Saji. This is just in there for fun. All right, now I'm going to show you guys some cards that are kind of bricks, but not that bad. So it's these 5. You still need to play them because of the ritual spell and Saji. It offsets the brick. For example, Snake Rain would discard. Saji is getting prayers. Like prayers offsets it as well because you're just like you're playing 3 ritual spell. You're playing 3 Saji. You're playing 3 prayers. You're playing 3 Snake Rain. Each of these 12 like having these cards in the hand. Well, not really this one, but they like having these cards in hand. So it's not bricks as per other decks. I'm going to explain the reasoning of each of them and why you play it. You could remove this if you really want to. You could if you really want to, but these are absolutely mandatory. But I would just keep this in because, again, you're playing 12 cards that is actually good. If you even more, like even if you find a way to summon Ame, like these 12, and keep in mind this is Search Spot King Lifera Limps, makes it good when you draw these because you want something to send anyways, and these in the grave are absurdly powerful. These 3 are mandatory. This I still recommend add-on. What they do, you could, when you go Mitsurugi Ritual, you could send Saji and Serpent because they're 2 level 4 reptiles. This, when it gets into the grave, a card effect special summon itself. So you're able to make King of the Pharaoh Limps with this card. It's a level 4. When it's sent to the grave by card effect, special summon it. Pretty good. This is vital for the combo. Will you tribute? I'll get to the combo tutorial at the end, but you tribute any monster you have. It could be any monster, not just a reptile. Special itself. Your opponent gets special a monster from their graveyard. Irrelevant because the effects are negated and you're gonna Regeki it anyways after. Its effects are negated. That's vital. And then, hey Sam, where'd you come from? You're just enjoying my deck? And what that would do is it specials Noya. Noya will get the Dogdick, Water Lily, or Daybreak, whatever you kind of want at the scenario. And then Daybreak would just send, well, you go send this, banish it, which is good. Special 4 tokens, full combo. I'll get to that part at the end, obviously. And then you need this because it's the best dark Ogdogdick, which is vital for King of the Pharaoh Limps. This special itself from the graveyard, this special any reptile from your graveyard is actually legitimately vital. This is the only one that reptile locks you. This is it. This is the only card that locks you into reptiles, but you basically use it at the end of your combo. Nothing in this deck locks at all except this card. And then this is a Regeki on your opponent's turn. It says you could only summon it with tribute 3 monsters, so you can only play this if you have play. That's why I said you could remove this if you like, but you're never actually tributing 3 monsters. You're specialing this with Futsu or with this card. You're summoning these as, like, sometimes your ritual spell gets stopped, like you just can't ritual that turn, but you play with these. So sometimes you just play with these, you still get your Regeki, and you're still playing, like stopping your opponent. This is a very cool lock, which I'm going to show in the combo. It's 1 card combo, you get this. It's an absurd lock where Baguska locks your opponent and Regekis. So this deck actually ends on 3 Regekis at the end board. 3 Regekis end board. This is a Regeki. I'll show you how. This is a Regeki. And then the obviously Ame Regeki. So you have 3 Regekis. You end on a negate. You end on Baguska. You end on discard 1. You end on draw 3. So you have 3 draws, 3 Regekis. Like, bro, it's absurd. And on top of that, you have a negate. You have so much stuff. It's absurd. Crazy absurd follow-up. And then there's 12 defensive slots left in the deck. I play 3 Thrust, 3 Talents, 3 Droplet, 3 Fua. If you want to play hand traps, you could up the deck count. It's a 42 card deck right now with 12 breakers. If you want, you could make it 45 cards and play 15 hand traps. So like substitute these 12 for hand traps. But if you're really good at the game and know the meta inside and out, I recommend these breakers specifically. And it's so good. Thrust to get make this so game 1 you auto win. Game 2 you still auto win because if Snake Rain resolves, and your only problem with this is Dweller, but you're just gonna tell your opponent that if you activate Dweller, you're a loser. No one wants to be a loser, so they won't activate Dweller. All right, extra deck, and I'm gonna show you guys the combo. 2 Lizard Draw, or Lizard Draw. I miss you, bro. Lizardos, 1 Reptilian Echidna for M frame 0. This is a free draw 1. You do this every time. Turn 0, turn 1. Play 2. Echidna is another one that locks you, but going second, this adds a free card. It comes up. This is how we're gonna lock the opponent. Stay tuned for the masterclass and for the comment tutorial then to figure out how. These cards are absurd. Like, they're actually also custom. The combo requires 2 Link Spider, G Golem, and Heat Soul. The end combo draws 2 with this, and it draws a Lizard. So every combo that you play, half play, you draw a Lizard and you draw 2 with Heat Soul. So you draw 3 times. You have an absurd follow-up.
Oh, want espresso?
Sure, thanks, man.
It's hot, bro. It's hot. It's hot. Wait, was it too hot or did it burn your tongue?
Nothing's too hot for the pen god. The beauty of access code in this deck is, look, you go in that same combo, you go Link Spider, G Golem, Heat Soul, access code. That is 3 pops. That is 3 pops. If you really want, you can get another one. The combo does it. In combo, you get 3 pops, access code. So the deck OTKs as well. Going second, you basically bait all, you leave Daybreak for the very end and then kill them, and they don't see it coming unless they watch this channel. You guys should watch Team Sam Ranks 1 and subscribe at all times. 2 King of the Feral Imps, 1 Dweller. You could put Zeus if you want, or Typhon. There's space in this deck. There's space. There's no, like, Twins is not a huge thing in this version because there's no Ryziel, so it's different. You can put in Twins, you can put in Zeus. I think you should probably put in Zeus. There's space. There's actually a lot of space. So that is the deck profile. I'm gonna show you guys now the combo. Let's go. Now it's time to show you guys the combo tutorial of this deck. I can talk about this deck for hours. There are hundreds of combos. For this specific combo, I'm gonna show you how to use Snake Rain. If you guys want to see the hundreds of combos that this deck has to offer, go check out my masterclass literally tomorrow, where I don't have 20 hours or I don't have 6 hours to record right now on Sam's channel, but I do tomorrow, where I'll be live for 6 hours explaining everything about this deck and the hundreds of combos. Check that out. I'm taking this deck to YCS Orlando. Not to toot my own horn, but I'm the greatest Mitsurugi player in the planet and probably the best Yu-Gi-Oh player in the planet. Yugi has no chance against me. All right! The combo alters every time. This is not a linear 1-card combo deck. This is not a linear deck. But with my tutelage, you guys could all be my grasshoppers. This is what you do. You ready? All of these cards could be sent to the graveyard with Snake Rain. You must look at your hand and decide on what your opponent has. What is the best route? What is the best route? The best route, if you have nothing, if you have absolutely nothing in your hand to combo with, you're going to send these 4. If you have nothing in your hand to combo with, you send these 4. I'm going to explain why, and it's just the best line through all interrupts, etc. You're sending these 4. If you have one of these 4 already, the next one in line is this. If you have another already, you send this. If you have another already, you're sending this. I'll explain everything on this. If you draw one of the 28 cards on top of Snake Rain, 27 without Snake Rain, the combo changes slightly. But you know, so I'm showing you what you have with 1 Snake Rain. It doesn't change too much. It's very easy to learn. This is what you do. You guys are lucky I allowed to help, man. You know, I went to school to be a teacher. I dropped out when I wanted to be a duelist. So you're gonna Snake Rain send these 4. Immediately, this is their effects. Night Sword Serpent, the second it gets sent to the grave by card effect, you're able to special summon itself. Now this is where the crazy shenanigans begin. Immediately when it hits the field, open game state, you're going to curse Ogdoadic Light, tribute the Night Sword Serpent, banish it, activate its effect. If your opponent has a monster in their graveyard, they're like this. Typically, you do not. By the way, sometimes you don't want to start with Snake Rain. You want to bait your opponent's cards and then Snake Rain their ass. That's like, imagine a 6-card Tenpai combo, but like 5-card. Like, you Snake Rain, then you discard your brick as your last card to kill them. That's how this should be done. That's how you destroy your opponent's will to play Yu-Gi-Oh again and have to OTK them. Always try to save this for end if possible. If not, it's okay. You can also start at the beginning, it's fine. So if your opponent has something to summon from grave, that's amazing. It literally makes your combo even easier, because if they have a monster that they summon, you're able on turn 0, like if they hand trap you something quickly, or if let's say they Fualos you and then you ash them or something along those lines, or you stop it with whatever, like cross out, whatever. You could use this card on turn 0, which comes up. There's another slight meta change that I'll explain later in the combo. You could use this in turn 0. So if they summon a monster with this, it's good. If not, it's okay. It's negated anyways. Anything they summon doesn't matter. So after this, the effect, you could special and Ogdoadic from grave. By the way, at any moment, if your opponent hand traps this, that's why you're playing a 28 engine deck. If your opponent hand traps anything, it doesn't actually alter the end result. It's basically like Ryziel. Like if you're stopping Ice Ryziel right now, Like if you're stopping Ice Riser right now, you're still going into Feral Imps eventually. You're still going into Lizard eventually. You're still ending on the crazy lock eventually. It's like irrelevant. You're still doing it, but your opponent basically does have to stop you immediately and hope you bricked, which this deck doesn't do because that's 28 engine pieces, right? That does this. So anyways, this will summon out the Noya. Noya will then trigger to add one of my favorite cards ever, and my favorite card in this deck, that's for sure, and that is a Dogdic Daybreak. At this specific scenario, by the way, what this card does, just for you guys to know, at any given moment, if your opponent hand traps you and you really want this on board, this card can special itself at any given moment. If your opponent hand traps you, if a monster is sent from the hand or deck to the grave while this is in the grave, this means from your hand or your opponent's hand, or from your deck or your opponent's deck to the grave, this could special itself, and then at any point on your turn, this card could special a reptile, any monster from your grave. But you're locked into reptiles the second you summon it by its effect, your turn and your opponent's turn. That's fine because we're basically summoning this at the end. But if your opponent hand traps you and you're kind of like cooked, you could just summon this quickly. And keep in mind, Daybreak with this summons 5 tokens. So at any given moment, this could basically, like if your opponent, for example, if your opponent stops this with Valor, this card comes out, you're still getting the combo. You're still getting the combo. Nothing is stopping this combo from happening. If they stop this, you just summon this and this. You still get this, and then you make something here, and you summon 5 tokens at the bottom. So it's like no matter what your opponent does, they're literally cooked. They lose immediately. That's what makes it so cool. All right, next, when the situation is like this, we're gonna save this for later because we're gonna do a very cool play with that. We're gonna go Dogdic Daybreak to tribute this. Sorry, to tribute this. These 2 get banished now. The special, 4 tokens. So immediately we're gonna have 4 tokens on board. We're gonna summon 2 Pen Best Deck tokens and 2 Let's Rev It Up tokens. All right. Next, we're pretty soon gonna be locked into reptiles. Okay. So what we want to do is get some draws in quickly because the deck is simply just able to do that. So what we're gonna do in this scenario. So there's many lines we could do. Okay. I want to show you the multitude of lines. We're able to keep Heat Soul on. Now we're able to Heat Soul on board to draw 2, like 1 on your turn, 1 on their turn, and Lizard to get a draw 3. I would only recommend this combo if you would like your defensive cards in your deck to be hand traps. If I'm going to show you the line how to do that, because as you see, there's 1,000 different lines in this deck. The way to do this is with 1 token, you go Link Spider. With the other token, you go Link Spider. With these 2, you go G Golem Crystal Heart. G Golem Crystal Heart specials a Cyberse from your graveyard. And then these 2 go into Heat Soul. Heat Soul will then be able to draw you 1 card. You keep that on board. And then these 2 will go into a Lizard. And then you'll be able to draw like 2. And then you use this and this to go into reptile stuff. However, you got to keep in mind that this deck doesn't play hand traps. So if I'm drawing like on the opponent's turn, I don't care. If I'm drawing 2 on this turn, I don't care too much. I'm just trying to combo. Does that make sense? So you're not necessarily like required to go for it if you're not playing hand traps. I just wanted to put that out there that you have the capability to draw 3 in combo, kind of like Eldritch Synchro. So even if your opponent stops you, like Nib, Imperm, something, or if they stop you now with something, you're still playing, so you don't really care. So now you guys know the draw 3 combo. I don't recommend the draw 3 combo in this version of the deck because there's no hand traps. But if you're playing hand traps, if you guys are scared of breakers, do the draw 3 combo. It's a lot safer because even if they stop you later in the turn, you're fine. And there was no crazy like moment where your opponent has to stop you, especially because right now you have 3 other cards in your hand going first and 4 other cards in your hand going second. So your opponent doesn't specifically know when to stop you. You can just summon Saji and like kill them, right? So now we have 4 tokens and we have a Noya on the field. Keep this Noya on the field for the whole duel right now. Keep it on the field. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take 1 token and make a Link Spider. We're gonna take the Link Spider and a token, and we're gonna make Haggard Lizard. So we're gonna draw just 1 random card, okay? So that's our 1 free draw. At the conclusion of that, we're gonna take the token and Lizard, and we're gonna make Cosmic Slicer Zero. I'm gonna explain this card in depth later. This adds a card that could add 8 counters on all cards your opponent controls. I'm gonna explain the lock in a bit. Don't worry yet. You still need this. I'm gonna explain the lock in a bit. At the conclusion of this, we're gonna take these and we're gonna make Alien Shock Trooper. Alien Shock Trooper is another custom card. Remember how I mentioned earlier that Snake Rain sends 4, this specials 4, Futsu specials 4, Regeki at infinity, right? 3 Regekis on your turn. This card, when it's destroyed, well, you're gonna use the effect, quick effect, in the battle phase. Discard 1 card. If your opponent has 4 monsters on board, you put 8 counters on all of them. This card destroys itself, and then you could special 4 reptiles from your grave, just like that. This deck has like 5 ways to put 4 monsters on board. What the heck? So this card you want to end the combo with, because you're able, if it gets destroyed, resummon every reptile from your graveyard. So it's a very crazy card, first or second. Additionally, it's an alien. So what we just did here is we use this to search this. Now this is our combo we're gonna do. On their turn, this card could tribute an alien to tribute the whole board. For the rest of the turn, every card your opponent puts gets 8 counters. And later, because we have a billion ways to special summon, we're gonna be special summoning Zero from our graveyard. Zero, when it's from the graveyard, all your opponent's monsters with 8 counters, and this is already activated, they all go to defense and it can't activate their effects like Baguska. So this card's literally Baguska when you activate this card. So this, basically we just got a Regeki plus Baguska, just like that, for free in engine, and additionally a protection of the whole board. So now that we have that, and we have our guaranteed draw, our guaranteed virus, and our guaranteed shock trooper, because this is vital to have. We went through all this. Okay, now we destroy them. We banish our Dogdic Daybreak. You think this is like, we put 4 tokens, we didn't even get started on our combo yet. We banished our Dogdic Daybreak, and we're gonna put back Knight, Sword, Serpent. We're now able, well, our Dogdic Daybreak says, it's crazy that this is not hard once per turn. You can only use each effect of Daybreak, not once per turn. It says during your main phase, you could banish this card, target 1 of your banished reptiles, shuffle into the deck, then send 1 reptile from your deck to the grave. So what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna send Saji. Saji, where are you? We're gonna send Saji to the grave. Now, since a monster got sent to the grave, and we already put up our Link Spider, now keep in mind, this combo gets the guaranteed Regeki and the guaranteed Baguska within the combo. If you'd rather draw 1. So this combo so far drew 1, has a Regeki and a Baguska for free with protection. The other combo, instead of drawing 1, it just draws 3. So if you're playing hand traps, go for the draw 3 combo if you're playing hand traps. If you're not playing hand traps, play these. So instead of, does that make sense? Like, just go for the draw 3 combo, and then you get SP. So you get draw 3 SP. But this is a little better, I think. So now, if you read our Nefta Libis Dogdic Overlord that we sent originally, if a monster is sent from the hand or deck to the grave, we just sent this. While this card's in your grave, special summon this card. Also, you can special monster till the end of the next turn, except reptiles. If you control the monster special summon graveyard, you can target 1 monster of a graveyard, special summon it. Broken. This just got sent to the grave. So this will special itself, and then you're locked in the reptiles now. Don't care. Effect of this will special Saji from your graveyard. We're now going to use Saji's effect to add Mitsurugi Ritual. At this point, we're going to put these into King of the Feral Imps. And we're going to detaching the Saji. This is what we have so far. Well, this is in the graveyard, but you know, it's going to be a Baguski eventually. Adding our monster. So here, we're going to add Ame. Ame no Murakamo no Mitsurugi. Broken card. We're going to activate Mitsurugi Ritual, special summoning Murakamo by sending from our deck. So we're going to send 2 level 4s. Here, we're going to send guaranteed the Kusanagi, and you want to check which level 4 you're missing. You want to send this, and you want to check which level 4 you're missing. You are missing the Nunu. You want to send these 2. You did not use Nunu's effect yet this turn, but normally you do. Like in combo, it's pretty easy to also end on SP on top, but because it's only 1 Snake Rain, only Mitsurugi Kusanagi will trigger here, adding back your choice of ritual spell or this. So we had ritual spell. At this point, if you have any level 4 Fualos or any level 4 in hand, typically you do. You special this. Because you have a level 4, you normal the level 4. You make King of the Feral Imps. King of the Feral Imps will add. King of the Feral Imps would add the Ogdodic. 1 second. King of the Feral Imps would add another Nunu. Nunu would send itself to the grave to send Ogdodic Overlord. This is if you have another level 4. Typically you do. So I'm just showing you what would happen there. And then on the opponent's turn, when you summon Futsu, Futsu will summon this back. So you have another, this is how you get 3 Regekis. This will be Regeki, this will be Regeki, and then the trap will be Regeki. But seeing as how this is just a 1-card combo, you know, you're not going to want to summon this for no reason, because you don't have, this is a 1-card combo. So in this state, Kusanagi will add back the ritual spell. You can activate the ritual spell, sending the Mitsurugi, special summoning Futsu. So now we're going to summon Futsu. Now Ame effect will trigger because they got tributed, adding a card from your graveyard. We're going to be adding prayers. Ame will special itself back. At this point, we have prayers and trap and 1 unknown draw. At this point, because it is just a 1-card combo, so I'm going to go off a little bit to show you what this deck could do. We're going to tribute the prayers. It's so tough. Like it's almost no space, but that's what happens when you're playing the best deck. You could tribute this if you want to not really respect hand traps, but like Nibiru if you want. But I'm just going to show you what this deck could do. So we're going to send that, adding a free card. So this will add us another follow-up. It could special back anything we like just for free. And like we're locked in zones because it's such a good deck. Special this again. Trigger its effect to add. I wouldn't even summon this back. Like, you don't have to special if you don't want to. A cool thing of prayers is that it's even if you tribute, it says it's a you can effect. So you don't actually have to tribute and add in special. You could tribute but then just choose one. It's a cool gimmick of the deck when you're running out of engine. You're not like mandatory to use. So now you're gonna add the trap card because it's got tributed, and you have prayers in rotation. It's good to have 1 prayers in the graveyard at all times. If you were able to link off, like at this, you could also play the I don't play the Ragnarika. You could send these off for the Ragnarika if you want to make more space, but there's just no reason to play cards when you already auto win like this. Like if you link these off for no reason, but I really want this to stay on board. And then you end your turn with this. You're gonna have an Omni Negate, you're gonna have a Regeki, you're gonna have follow-up, and you're gonna have a draw. This is in combo, and you're gonna pass your turn. At this point, if your opponent hand trapped you at any point, you still end on the same result because it's not like a crazy choke point deck, if that makes sense. Like if your opponent choke pointed you and hit you at a choke point, you're getting too much value of the card, so it's fine. And you're just gonna pass here. What this will do is when your opponent activates 1 card, you discard a card off this. When your opponent puts 2 cards on board, you're going to use the effect of Planet Pollutant Virus, tributing the alien, Regeki. Whenever your opponent puts up a card you want to negate or a Regeki, what you do is you go Mitsurugi Purification, send this. Do not activate the effect, just negate the card. And then whenever your opponent summons, you want another Regeki. Let's say your opponent puts 2 monsters up. When they special a monster, you use this to summon this from your grave. Everything they summon now is Baguska because of the trap card. Anytime you want them to Regeki again, you special this, Regeki again. And on top of that, like you get effects. Like if your opponent clears the board, if let's say your opponent you're playing mirror match, here's a crazy thing as well. Your opponent's playing mirror match and they're about to special summon. Like let's say they special their own Ame, use the effect of Futsu. This is all 1-card combo, by the way. Futsu will special back M-Frame. The Regeki trick resolves. You use this as well. All the cards have the virus because of pollutant virus, whatever. A-frame trigger. Special 5 reptiles. Same thing. Nothing changes. Trigger. 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 Add 4 more cards. Go ahead. It's incredibly good and layered, and all from 1 Snake Rain. And with an addition, so that's 2 Regekis. If you had any other reptile or any other level 4, it's 3 Regekis and 2 extra draws. Where the Futsu is summoning back this, and this is another Regeki. So I don't know if any deck in history, even full power Pendulum, is playing through 3 Regeki, a Baguska on top. So Baguska almost counts as 4 Regekis. Omni Negate, a discard 1, crazy follow-up, and board protection from my Regeki itself. Masterclass down below. Don't miss it. If you do, you suck. You suck. I think this card is one of the best cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! And I can't wait to show why. And I can't wait to win a YCS with it, because this deck and this card is absurd. In that masterclass, I'm going to show how to play the Riser version as well. I'm 50-50 on which one I want to take. They're both just so good. And I will see you guys then. Thank you for watching. See you guys next video. Peace.